Hello everyone, welcome back to the SOC Analyst Masterclass series. This is day 33 and my name is Sumit Jain and I'm welcoming you all on the Zero Day Vault YouTube channel. You are watching day 33 of the SOC Analyst L1 Masterclass. Okay, and in the previous session, like in day 32, we have some network issues so that I'm not able to complete the Splunk, which is we are going to try with the try hack me. So we are not able to complete it, but today we are going to complete it and let's see how this can work. You can how you can basically practice on the THM platform and solve some of the labs which is related to the Splunk. Okay, so I hope you know like what is the Splunk or what is the try hack me platform. So we are not going to cover this. You can watch the day 32 for the prior information. And let's, without wasting our time, let's start with the practical analysis of logs using Splunk on try hack me platform. Okay. Okay, so this is the try hack me platform, and in this platform when you go and search like SIEM, so you will see a lab or a room that is listed under the Splunk basics. Did you know SIEM? When you click it, so the room will open and then you can perform your things. So there are three basic rooms available, which is introduction, then log analysis, and then Splunk basis. So what we are doing here, first we are going to cover the Splunk basis, uh, how you basically see the logs, or how you will analyze it, what is the queries, and what will you return the sources and everything. So we have few questions here that we need to solve, and if we find the answers we can put it here and then check. And how many questions are here, let me check. 5 questions are there, and when you solve all of them according to the scenario, then the lab will be solved. So this is our day 33 of SOC Analyst L1 series. So two more sessions are remaining, so the series is in the end, so you can watch the previous videos. Have any queries, then can reach out to me. So I'm available on Telegram. There is a group available, so which you can join it. Okay, the link is in the description. You can also join the WhatsApp community as well, or you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn, or you can ask your queries and questions. I will try to help you whatever possible ways I have. And let's start. So see, this is the Splunk platform or the lab basically, which is based on the Splunk. And if you click here in the introduction part, so there is a story there, like in a particular day, a attack was happened, then you have to, what your objectives are. So you have to basically ingest and interpret the custom logs data in Splunk, create and apply some custom field extractions, use SPL to filter and refine your search results, and conduct an investigation within Splunk to uncover key insights. Okay, so you need to start the machine. So how to start the machine? There is an option available to start it, and when you click on the start, you will have a 1 hour time to solve the machine. Otherwise, the lab you need to basically restart it, because try hack me will give you 1 hour time to solve all the queries. Then it will take some time to appear. Like here is your link, which you can click it and the Splunk platform will be appear. So I will click it here. This will take around 1 minute to properly established, so you have to wait before the or the environment is basically setting up. So let's continue with our second thing, which is log analysis with Splunk. When you drop down, so here is the some basic information about the Splunk platform, which we already discovered in the day 32. Okay, but as a quick recap, let's see one more time. So how you will see the logs, this particular platform, let's see, it is not opening right now. I'm getting 502 gateway. I'm refreshing it. Basically it needs some time to start. This is the started, but we need few more minutes to particularly, like, see, it is written here, the machine will need about 2 or 3 minutes to fully boot. So once the machine is up and running, you can connect to the Splunk SIEM by visiting this URL in your browser. So let's open it again. Now it is opening. I'm not getting 502, not bad gateway. And let's go with the machine setup. And here is your, see, side by side you can learn it also, and you can find the answers for your queries also. Okay, so this is the Splunk platform. And first thing, where you have to click, where you have, there is a log is pre-ingested, so you don't have to put log here. But if you want to put some logs of yours, you can put it also. So in the Splunk instance, the data has been pre-ingested to us to investigate the incident. Okay, so you have to click on the search and reporting, and after that, the basically the data or the uh, your logs will be uh, available in the index main. Okay, so let's just wait few more minutes to particularly get it started. Okay, so it is started now. Okay, so you have to click on the search and reporting, and after that it is taking some time. Okay, so now you can type here index equals to main. Basically this is your data source, and sorry, main. And when you hit enter, you will see you have to click on all time. Then your all the events will be available here. So there are 18,744 events. Okay, and here are all the fields, which is like the fields are host, source type. So if you click here on host, so the information will be appear like host is lab. The source is two types of files is loaded, access.csv, firewall.json, and the source type is web traffic or firewall log. So basically in the pre-ingested logs, you have two types of log, which is web traffic. Some of the logs are coming from the web traffic, and some of are the firewall logs. If you see in the events, there is the count 17,000 and 1,500. There are some other fields also, that is basically search, which is client IP or date, month, right, path, method, a user agent, right. So there are size bytes, so there are some more fields available. Okay, so what you have to do now, you have to go to the lab and read everything. So first, this is done. Now two types of data sets, so web traffic and firewall logs, then initial tries. So that means you can start a basic search across the index using your custom source type, like whatever source type you have. You can click it here, and a query will be created like source type web traffic. So now you are only seeing the events which is coming from the sources web traffic, right? But if you go back and want to see the firewall logs, then click on firewall logs. A particular query will be created, which is source type, see here in the search field, source type firewall logs. Okay, you are understanding till now? Okay, so now what we have to do, this part is done. Then what type of uh, result we have? So we have some results like time, event, like, or many more things. If you click here on the source type web traffic, then we have some information. If you go to the statics, then there is nothing available, but here are particular things, right? And if you want to increase the queries per page, you can increase by here. Like right now it is 20 per page, but you can increase it by 50 per page. Okay, there is a listing, the format, right? And the next page, this is the visualization. So you can see like on particular date how much logs are recorded. Now so this is the important fields. And if you particularly click on a particular event, suppose this, then the things or the event action is basically displayed. So the host is lab, source is this, the source type, client IP, method, path, referrer, size, bytes on time, or user agent, or everything, right? So that's how this is written in the screenshot as well. Like one is search, this is number one field. Two is all time, so you can click on all time, whatever time you want to see the event. So you can click all time, last 15 minutes, last 60 minutes, 4 hours, 24 hours, last 7 days, 30 days, or some other time as well, right? This is the visualization, which is I already told you about. Like on October 10 Friday, we received 2012 events. On 11 October we received 1637. On 12 October we received 2267 events. Okay, then the fourth field, fifth field, and sixth field. So these are all the important fields available. Now, let's move to the first question. So you can visualize the log timeline. Basically, there is a query, so you can particularly copy this query. Basically, we want to filter with the log timeline, like on which date, how many logs are received or how many logs are logged, right? So you can put your query here, and then, sorry, you have to put the query right. Then this is the date filtration. Like on 1 October 2025, you got 595 for this, right? There is one more query if you want to see in the reverse order, right? So you can click or you can add this particular thing, sort by count reverse. And when you hit enter here, so now it will be showing in the uh, descending order. So see, it is written here, the queries are showing in the descending order, showing the day with the maximum numbers of events at the beginning. So this is how you can filter with these queries. So let me show you the queries one more time. So index main, this is your source. The source type is web traffic, time chart, span 1 day, count, sort by count, and reverse. So it is showing in the descending order, right? Maximum number of event that you received on particular date, the day will appear in the top, and then following the days. So 12 October, then 10 October, then 14 October, then 11 October, 13 October, 17 October, and so on and so on. Okay. Now there are one more query, like particularly if you want to see like how many user agents created those particular thing. So you can go to the events and then click on user agent, and you will see 11 user agents, which is from Mozilla, from wget, from curl, from Harvest, from SQL map. So particularly on in all those events, which is around 17,000, you received events from Mozilla is 3000, from Mozilla Windows 3000, then Mozilla Mac which 3000, and then so on and so on. Okay, you can click on the path also, so see how many paths are visited. So particularly the people or the person whose logs are created, so they try to access these paths. So this path is accessed 1581 times, then this is path, this path, and then particularly some paths more. Okay, you can click on the method also, get post method, if you particularly know about what is the methods meaning. Then this is the client IP. So there is one more option, client IP. So in this, client IP is there. So on which IP, how many logs you received. So this IP, this logs multiple times around 7,876, and then this IPs. And if you focus on the IPs, like these all IPs are belongs to private IP address. That means inside the network. But this IP is public IP address. That means outside the network, someone connected with your source type, or basically we are seeing the web traffic. So that's why this particular IP is given here. Okay, so now let's see our first question. So what is the very first question? What is the attacker's IP attacking and compromising the web server? Okay, so we need to find out the attacker's IP who basically compromised your web server and try to attack on your web server. And the second question is, which day was the peak traffic in the logs? So when we click on the this query, and if we go to the statistics, so we are seeing like on October 12 we are having the peak number of traffic. Like this is the peak traffic we received on 12 October. So that might be our answer for this question. So if I put it here on the format is like year, and then month, which is 10, and then the day, which is 12 October, I think. Yes, 12 October. And when you click on check, so that particular question is okay. Now, if you see like what is the count of the Harvey's user agent events found in the log. Harvey's is particularly a SQL exploitation tool. So you need to see the count number of Harvey's user agent. So go to the events and see the user agent, and in the user agent you have the Harvey's, which is here 993. So that will be your second question answer. So third question answer. We still need to find the attacker's IP. I'm telling you in a bit. How many path traversal attempts to access sensitive files on the server were observed? Path traversal is a particularly vulnerability in which the attacker is trying to access some of your sensitive files that might be stored in your web server. So we need to calculate how many times. So if you click here on the path section, and in the path section these all are the path. So see, on the particular person is trying to access the etc passwd, and this file contains the user policy or user details. So how many times it was accessed? So 658. So this will be your answer. Let me check. Yes. Okay, now let's find out the attacker's IP. So see here in the tutorial or the information, you have particularly see like all of the questions. You can also create some queries also. I'm going to tell you in a bit. So let's first see the suspicious IP. So there is a query which is saying narrowing down suspicious IP. What it means actually, like if an attacker is trying to access or trying to attack you, then it will particularly not using the common user agent. So what if you will filter out the common user agents? So the like the not suspicious IPs will be filtered out, and then you will have your suspicious IP. So I'm going to copy this query and put it here in the source traffic. Okay, let me put it here and let's see. So we have a client IP, which is this. Obviously we are getting the result from previous queries as well, as I told you earlier. So 198.51.100.55. So let me copy it and put it in the answer. Okay, and let's check it. So this is also correct. Now if I go back and showing you some more queries, so see here, we can detect the client IP. I already told you. We can detect the path. We have a question basis on this. Filtering out begins value, like not common, like filtering out common user agents. So we will exclude the common legitimate user agents with the query, and then we are basically finding out the client IP as well with the suspicious narrowing down the suspicious IPs filter. Then you can tracing the attack chain, so particularly checking if some configuration file is basically exposing or not. So you can initially start your searching for probing the exposed configuration files with the query. So now you can particularly put the client IP here on this section and check if some paths are accessed or not. So I'm going to copy the query. Let me copy the query and let me put it here. Okay, but here I have to type the client IP. So client IP is 198.51.100.55, and if we check, then yes, the paths are accessed, but which on which user agents? So curl is used, go http is used, z grep is used, and wget or some more user agents. So these paths are accessed. On which date? You have date and time as well, and events are also there. So this git config phpinfo.php.env, and then these are some files basically. Okay, now if you see here, like you want to exclude or trying to see some more paths, so for path traversal and open redirect vulnerabilities. So if you are particularly following my series, then I think on the date 23, date 24, I will we talk about the Splunk queries for particular scenarios. Like if you want to check for the open direct vulnerabilities, then what will be the query? If you want to check with the SQL query, SQL at injection attack, then what will be the query? Path traversal attack or brute force attack. So all the queries are there. So I talked about, I think 100 Splunk queries, and then you can use those queries now in your Splunk platform to narrowing down or to investigate the attack. Okay, now let's check out our final question. So there are some like particularly queries available for SQL injection attack or for path traversal attack. So if you have the idea about like what is path traversal attack or what is open indirect attack or what is SQL injection attack, then you can easily create the queries, or you can copy the queries and then can put it in your Splunk platform and then can investigate the events, right? Then the exfiltration attempts, that means if the attacker is trying to download some sensitive files or basically some large files, backup files, log files, so this query might be help you. So I'm copying the query one more time and checking if that exfiltration attempts were made by the attacker. So our log source type is same, which is the web traffic. Now let's search it on all time. So yes, that particular path is accessed and downloaded with these user agents on which date. Okay, so yes, exfiltration attempts were made. And then if ransomware is staging an RCE, that means RCE means remote code execution, or ransomware is a type of malware. So request for sensitive files like this and config indicate the attacker is gathering data for double extortion. In the logs, we identified some requests related to bunny log and shell php. Let's use the following query to see what those search queries are about. So we can then use this query as well. So I'm going to copy the query and then put it in the Splunk. Okay, so yes, so see on particular which path what status we are getting it. Now you can read it, like above result clearly confirms a successful web shell. The attacker has gained full control over the web server and is also able to run command. You can see it here. Like attacker is trying to run the command like this. Shell.php question mark cmd chmod. Trying to modify the permission, trying to run the command who am I, right? Trying to see the file of bunny log. right? So that's how you can examine the events. Now we can correlate outbound C2 communication. That means if the attacker is trying to connect the attacker server with the web server, so for that we need to examine the firewall log using the compromised server. Okay, so your server IP is this, so we can use now source type firewall logs, source IP this, and then the destination IP, which is the attacker's IP, and then action or something like this, right? So you can particularly see or copy this query, and I'm going to copy the query here, right? But we need to use the client IP here. So destination IP is this 198.51.100.55. And now let's remove the source type web traffic. Now we are examining the firewall logs. So yes, the connections are made on the destination port is 8080. Then the action is allowed. The protocol is TCP. The reason is C2 contact, command and control server contact. Okay, and this is particularly given here. Now the query proves the server immediately established an outbound connection to the attacker's C2 IP on the suspicious destination port. The actions are allowed. The reason is also there, that confirms the malware communication and the channel was active. Okay, so now you want to see volumes of data exfiltrate, like what bytes or how many bytes of data is transferred. So we can now use this query and filter it, basically checking how many bytes were transferred, and I'm putting it here. Okay, not here, from here. So how many bytes were transferred? Let's see. This is the bytes that were transferred, 126167 bytes. And now this will be your last question, I think. Examine the firewall logs. How many bytes were transferred to the C2 server IP from the compromised web server? So this will be your answer, 126167. 126167. And when you click it, your lab is solved, and now you can check it out. So what is basically you will learn with this lab, you can check like the traffics, like attackers were identified the highest volume of malicious web traffic originating from the external IP, the attackers following a clear progression in the web logs, the recurrence, like attacker is particularly trying to see the configuration file, attacker is using the SQL map user agent, remember Harvey's, right? And some payloads, the payload delivery is also there, like attacker is basically running this command via the web shell, and then how many bytes of data is transferred, or if any C2 confirmation. So that's how the lab is solved, and you will receive like this. Okay, so this is the basic Splunk lab. This is the basic Splunk lab, which you can use it for particularly your practice purpose. Now if you see here in the try hack me, there are some more labs available for uh, SIM. So let's see some more labs. So if you want to ask me anything, you can, the comments are open, you can basically put in the comments and I will try to answer. So yes, we have some comments, so let's check it out, the comments first. Hello Monica, hello ServiceNow. Dynasty, how many classes remaining on this series? Yeah, 2 sessions more remaining in this series, and we are completing it by this weekend, day 34 and day 35. Day 34 will be the how the reports are made, some alert tries, and day 35 will be the conclusion and Q and question answer. So yeah, So ServiceNow is saying, can you explain with more answers? Yeah. So in the try hit me, there are some more labs available, which is introduction to SIM. So I'm going to open this lab as well, and log analysis with SIM. So these are two more labs, but if you click on, like, let me show you one more time. So it is taking some time to open. Yeah. So log analysis with SIM. This is one more lab you have, and the process is very simple. You have to open the lab. You have to join the room, and then you have to start the machine, and then the Splunk will be started, and then you have to use some queries to analyze the logs. So in this particular section, there are three types of log given, which is web server logs, Windows logs, and Linux logs, right? So we have to examine it, and this is the basics of SIM. So in this lab particularly, you will get to know about the fundamentals of SIM tools, its features or functionalities, like all the theory part you need. Okay, so let's join the room first. Splunk is commercial tool, it is not free, so this is paid. If you are looking for any open source tool which is free, so you can switch to the Vaiju is free. The Splunk, QRadar, these are commercial tools, so are not free, but you can take the 14 days trial. You can take the 14 days trial, and then your work is done. No, I'm not buying the premium. I'm using the Try Hack Me. So I'm using the Try Hack Me platform. In the platform, there are Splunk based rooms are given. Basically, labs are given, and if you are trying to solve the lab, then the Splunk is provided or given by the Try Hack Me. So you do not need to buy the Splunk platform to practice on Try Hack Me. If you independently want to practice on Splunk, then you need some log sources. You need to download some logs from internet, or if you have the logs available, then you can put it into the Splunk and then can investigate. But in the Try Hack Me, the logs are already given. There are some questions, queries, then you can use it. So for practice purpose, I think the triangle is enough. There are plenty of rooms given for the SOC purpose. I'm going to show you. Let me first join this room, and this room is some basic information. Companies will use Splunk or Vaiju software, companies like Accenture. Yeah, mostly in the industry, you will see Splunk, QRadar, or Microsoft Sentinel. These are the three topmost SIM tools that are used in the industry. And some companies, like if they do not want to use the commercial tool, or they want to use the open source, then Vaiju. So these four tools are the industry specific. You can add one more, which is Logarithm or Sumo Logic. But Splunk is, like, mostly you will see the Splunk, because of it also gives you some more queries, or the results are there, or because of its functionality basically. Okay, so now this is your first room. Let's try to solve the first room. So this is the basic information about the SIM. So you can basically do not have to start the lab for this. And Dynasty is asking, these all classes is enough for good enough for SOC L1? Yes, these are all enough, good enough, but you need to practice also. I'm using the Splunk, so you need to solve the, if you do not want to purchase the Splunk, then you can use the Try Me for solving purpose. So the practice is also there. So you can follow all the sessions, and then can use the Try Hack Me for practice purpose once the labs are solved. So that means you will have a good enough idea about the SIM tool. All other information is available on the videos. Okay, so now let's solve this. So the very first question is, what does SIM stands for? So basically the meaning of SIM. So SIM is a security information and event management system. So I'm not typing it, I'm just copying it for faster approach, and then can check it. Interview questions. So yes, interview questions. So you can check the drive. There are plenty of interview questions. You can take the notes and then can check it. Okay, so the next task is logs everywhere. So these are the information about logs, like how many types of logs we have. So host centric logs, network centric log sources, and like the information about the log sources. So what is host centric? So that means a user is accessing the file, basically the activities that a particular user is doing. Or the network centric, that means the logs, when the logs are generated, the host communicate with each other or access the internet to visit a website. Okay, so the device like firewall, IDS, routers, IPS, when the logs are generated over there, so these are known as network centric log sources. So now you can answer those questions. Is registry related activity is host centric or network centric? So it is host, registry related, so it might be the host. And is VPN related activity is host centric or network centric? So it is the network centric. Now you can check with the task 3. So why SIM? Why SIM is used? So the features of SIM, you can check out the sessions as well. We already discussed about all these, like the features of SIM, what SIM is, how many types of logs, what is log actually meaning. Everything is already covered. So I'm not particularly taking your time. I'm just uh, solving the lab. Okay, now the log sources and ingestion. So the log sources is basically in Windows machine where you will find the logs. So we already in Linux machine, the logs are stored here on this location, and what type of file contain what types of logs. So this is there, the web server logs, right? So the log ingestion, like the all the logs provided in wealth of information and can help identify the issues. So you have to use those logs to connect with your SIM tools. So the question is, in which location with a Linux environment are HTTP logs are stored? So in HTTP logs, in HTTPD, in this location the HTTP logs are stored. So I'm providing the location here. So where logs HTTPD, and that question is solved. And the alerting process, so we already discussed about it. So the alerting is like, if you want to trigger some alert, so what type of alert is there, the detection rules, how the detection rules are created, the investigation. So which event ID is generated when the events log are removed? So the when the logs are removed, which event ID is generated? So this is the event ID 104. When the logs are removed, this event ID is logged. What type of alert required may require tuning? What type of alert may require tuning? Okay, so there is, the answer is hidden somewhere. False positive. It requires tuning. Okay, this is now the lab work. So you need to visit on the site. So a site will be opened in your site, and then you can basis on this site. So this is the lab on right side of your screen. In the static lab that is attached, a sample dashboard and events are displayed. when a suspicious activity happens. That means when you receive any alert, so this particular on your dashboard, that's how it is happens. And the an alert is triggered, which means some events match the condition, basically whatever rules you applied over there. So some events matched those rules, and you have to complete the lab and answer the following question. So after clicking on start suspicious activity button, which process caused the alert? That means uh, which process is generated. That's why you receive the alert. So you need to click on start activity, and let's see. So click on the start suspicious activity, and the process name is kudominer.exe. So I'm typing it, kudominer.exe. Okay. Yeah. Now find the events that cause the alert and identify the user responsible for the process execution. So you can click on the find event. Yeah. So find the event, and these all are the events. Find the event that caused the alert. So the process is kudo minus. So this is the process, and what we have to answer, the user responsible for the process execution. So user is Chris. So we can provide the name of the user, the host name of the suspected user. So the host name is somewhere here. Host name is hr underscore 02, and the examine the rule and the suspicious process. Which term matched the rule and caused the alert? So which term is basically match the rule? Examine the rules and suspicious process. So suspicious process is this. We can examine it. Let's process, and this is the rule. Okay, which term basically matched? So this term is matched, minor or crypt. Which option best represent the event? Choose the from the following: false positive or true positive. So it is, you can click on the go analysis. So it is true positive, and we have to isolate the host, and you will get the flag. So I'm copying the flag here. This will be the answer for the last question, and this is true positive. You can check it, and then check it, and then your lab is solved. What is missing here? Okay, we are going too fast, so please try again a little while. So now it will be solved, and if you click here, then the lab of introduction to SIEM is now solved. Okay, now if you go back to the try hack me, and now I will tell you the all the labs we have for SIEM for different purpose, which what particular topics we have covered in this series so far. Also, the try hack me, you can create a free account, and if you want a premium subscription of try hack me, then you can use the try hack me premium subscription as well. I think 500 or 600 is the price for per month. Okay, search here the SIEM, and if you click here, all the rooms related to SIEM will be appear. We basically selected the three basic rooms, but there are more. I'm going to solve the log analysis with SIEM as well. Okay, but let me show you first, like how many rooms are there. Till the time this is opening, let's check out the other lab, which is log analysis with SIM. In this lab, you will have a good idea about the log analysis of different types of logs, like Windows logs, Linux logs, or the server logs. Okay, so similarly, you will get a 1 hour time once the machine is started, and in a 1 hour time you will have to find all those things and then can answer. Or if you fail to answer in 1 hour time, then you can borrow 1 hour more and then can solve it. Okay, so we have to join the room to basically start the machine. It is taking some basically try at me slowing down. Till the time it is opening, you can ask me any queries, anything. uh, One thing I'm noticing, like you are, I know you are watching, enjoying watching my videos, but you are too lazy to click on the like button or click on the subscribe, because you are not particularly supporting it. You are not sharing it with your colleagues, friends, in your WhatsApp groups or whatever groups you are joined with. So see, I need your support. So the goal is to reach the 10,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So that's why you also need to support me. So click on the like button if you need more content like this on this channel, right? uh, I try to bring the practical or the best possible way to teach you, to tell you the basics of cybersecurity, basics of blue teaming, basics of VAPT, bug bounty, red teaming. So if you like, then subscribe, and do not forget to click on the like button as well. And if you want, you can share it with your friends, your network on LinkedIn, your Twitter, your Facebook, Insta, wherever you want. Okay, so I think the lab is open now. Okay, so see, in the SIM, basically, you will have more rooms. So this one is solved, Splunk basic. Then the Splunk SIM tries for SOC. This one is we are going to uh, solving right now, log analysis with SIM. Then for auditing and monitoring, the logging for accountability, this is the basic one. The Splunk setting, the alert tries, log intro to log analysis, so some basic questions and some more as well, right? So there are multiple rooms available for SOC, for Splunk, for SIM tools. So if you have a time, like right now the vacations are started, so you have some time, so try to solve all these rooms. So you will get plenty of knowledge, plenty of hands-on experience on the SIM, right? Because if you want to suppose you purchase the Splunk premium, or you purchase or not purchase but going with the trial, Splunk trial, then you also need some real logs. So where will you get that? Because the attack is not happening in your local machine, so you will not have that kind of logs, because in environment you will have those logs available, but as an individual person, how you will get those logs? There is one possibility: you can download some example logs from the internet and then can put it on the Splunk and then can analyze it. But why do the hard work? Because that, why do the hard work? Instead of that, you can use the try platform. They will give you the logs, actual event logs where the attacks was happened, and then you can analyze it, you can solve it and answer some few questions, and then I think they will give you certificates also for solving or completing the challenge. Okay, so there are plenty of rooms available for sale. Now let's check with the log analysis. How to check our laptop logs? So for that, if you are using Windows, then go to the check the event IDs. You have to watch my videos on Windows OS, and if you are using Linux, then it will be stored in where/where directory. You have to go to the /where/logs, and where your all the logs will be available. And the location is also available in the intro to SIM tools. Introduction to the SIM lab is also the lab which we solved earlier. Okay, so the location will be there also, so you can solve the lab and then you can find the location. Okay, so in this lab what we have to do, first we have to click on the join room, so the room is joined. Now we can start the machine, so let me start it. Then we will have a path. In this path the Splunk is available, so we have to wait for 4 to 5 minutes. The path is there but we have to wait it, then only the Splunk instance will be particularly opened. So I'm copying the path and opening in the browser, but as it said we have to wait for a few minutes. So let's check out the basic things first. So this is the lab setup, so this is done. We can check it. So in this lab, there is, I think, one, two, three, four, five tasks is there. Logs, sources, overview, benefits of SIM for analysts, Windows logs, Linux logs, and web application logs. So three types of logs are there, and you have to analyze it and find some important things. Okay, so now go to the task two. So what is the task is some basic information about the SIM, the benefits of SIM. So the we have some questions, some you can read it out the theory part, like what is correlation, what is centralization, right? So you can read that out. So the thing is, what is the process of linking data from multiple sources to identify relationship between individual and events called? So this is called this thing correlation. So I'm copying the correlation term here and typing it here and check. And that means you are linking all the data from various sources and identifying the individual events or the relationship between individual events. So that is known as correlation. The term is known as correlation. The what is the process of collecting and sorting data from multiple systems and sources into a single unified location for easier analysts. This is called centralization. So I'm copying the centralization term. Okay. Let me turn on the sound as well. And you can check it here, and that is also solved. Now go to the task 3, log source overview. So the log source overview, that means host based logs, network based logs, and some basic logs like what type of events or what type of activity you can analyze or you will get from those log sources. So host based, network based, then web based. So in web based, we have web server logs, API logs, load balancer logs, WAF logs, CDN logs, and in network we have firewall, router, DNS, proxy, and in host we have system events, object access, account management, authentication, or policy changes. So according to that, we can answer it. What is the process of converting logs from different formats into single format for easier analysis in SIM? And that is known as normalization. Which log source type can be used to detect the execution of malicious scripts? Execution of malicious script, which log source type? So the source type is host based. We have to analyze the host based logs for execution of malicious uh, scripts detection. So host based, this will be the answer. Now you can switch to the Windows log, and when you want to analyze the Windows logs, now this will be appear. We need the Splunk instance. So now I'm accessing the Splunk. It will be loaded now. But tell me in the comments, are you enjoying the stream? Is there anything you want to ask me? We are getting 502 again. Okay, let me refresh it. It is not opened. Machine is active. So let me access again. Now we have to analyze the Windows logs. So you can read out the queries, and I'm not going to tell you like what particular queries, but you have to solve this practical scenario. So what is the question? You are a SOC L1 analyst on shift and have received an alert indicating a suspicious network connection using port number 5678 on the Win105 host. Your task is to conduct a investigation, determine whether this activity is suspicious or not. So suddenly one day you will get an alert saying some malicious suspicious network connection on a particular port number on the a particular host. So you have to now conduct an investigation and check out if the activity is actually suspicious or not. So the Splunk, the logs are given in the Splunk, which is under the task 4. Why it is not opening? Let me check out the connection again. 10, 49, 155, 151. This is correct. Reverse proxy. This is also correct. Machine is running, then why we are getting 502? This is not opening. What might be the issue? Let me terminate the machine and start one more time. Machine is terminated, and it is still active. It is taking some time to terminate as well. So in the Windows logs, what you need to identify, you have to find out the answers. Which IP address was the connection established? The process connection, suspicious process is basically the MD5 hashes of the malicious process, or the name of the scheduled task that was created on the system. Okay, so you need to find out these four questions, four answers based on these questions on the Windows logs. Okay, and logs are you will find in the task 4 section. So now the machine was terminated. Let me see. Yes, so let me start again. Till the time this is starting, you can ask me anything. If you are understanding, then You can tell me in the comments. Because most of you are asking some hands-on on the Splunk. They need to see how the Splunk is look like, how to analyze logs. So that's why I pick the THN, Try Hack Me platform, to show you all these things. This is the best platform for initial level investigation, initial level hands-on practice. Now a new path will be given. Let me copy the path and open in new tab. How many of you are still watching the stream? You can tell me in the comments now. Or anything particular topic you want to add in this SOC series. Let's do some chit chat because it is not opening right now. We are getting 502 bad gateway. So this is the problem from the THM side, not my side. I will try one more time. If that is not opened, so we will solve this lab in some another day. Are you getting my point? I think I'm seeing like 6 or 7 people are watching it live. So tell me in the comments, you are able to understand what I'm displaying here. You create an account on Try Hack Me, try to solve those things, those labs. You will get a multiple hands-on experience. Yeah, it is open now, finally. Let's go to the Windows logs. So in this section of the THM room, there are some information about the Windows logs, some Splunk queries. So you can read it out. Like there are two types of logs, which is sysmon and event log. There are two data sources in Windows, right? Windows event logs and system monitor. The second one must be installed and configured separately to start receiving logs. And then the briefing of each one, like what is system sysmon and what is window event, and some filtration or some filtered queries as well. Okay, so these queries are not related to your uh, question, but some queries that you given by THM to understand the outcomes of Windows logs. Okay, so there are 4 queries, I think. So in first query, the malicious process execution. So using this query, you can check out any particular malicious process execution. So if you are seeing in the query, the index is window event, then the event code, the PowerShell encoded command. So you are filtering on these basis, and when you receive the logs, you will check out like these things. Okay, and in the suspicious network connection, for this query is given, and we can find out the IP address, the uh, that this information, like the victim host, malicious process establishing network connection, victim IP addresses, destination malicious IP, the suspicious port, and the communication protocol. These are not will be opened in the this scenario because uh, the source will be given only for task, so you cannot use the exact same query on the Splunk platform. Because of that logs are given which is not relatable to these screenshots. But according to that we have to examine and find out all the answers, so it is taking too much time to load. It is still loading. And how much time we left in the lab? We have 53 minutes left only. Okay, but it is not loaded. It is taking too much time, so I'm going to terminate this because we have another stream scheduled for bug bounty. So I will solve this in another day, so you can try by yourself also. These are the easy one, like the Windows logs for, and then you have to examine the Linux logs and then the web application logs. So I think 10 to 12 questions are there. You can solve it and do some hands-on on this THM log analysis with SIM. Okay, so when we connect again, I will definitely solve this and showing you the answers or how particularly the queries, how we will find the results according to the question, so we can solve it. Right now it is not opening, we are not connected with the environment, so that's why we are not solving this. Okay, so that's how you can use the Splunk for log analysis purpose. So one lab we solved, the SIM one, then the basic one, and then the this one which is not loaded. So we are taking it in solving it on some another time. Now you can ask me any questions, queries if you have. So ServiceNow is having a question. Can we upload the logs in VirusTotal site and it will find the malicious malware site's IP address? If you have a file, you can open it. Particularly, like if you have a file that is already malicious or you have some doubt, you can upload it on the VirusTotal, but the logs will not be uploaded on VirusTotal. VirusTotal is only supporting the IP address, domains, or some files, not logs. For log analysis purpose, you need some tool that will help you to analyze the logs. VirusTotal will not able to help you. Okay, so I'm not seeing any new comments here. So hopefully you will get the idea about the Splunk or the how you will examine, how will use the Splunk thing. So do not forget to check out the other videos on this stream. Check out the bug bounty one, the blue teaming one, and if you are into Bob suit or VAPT, then check out the Bob suit as well. Okay, we will two sessions left for this series, day 34 and day 35. In day 34 we are seeing the this is the lab which is unsolved today, so the first we will pick this one and then the our topic. And in day 35 I will be taking some Q&A, some interview questions, and we'll wrap up this series. So hopefully you enjoyed the series. You can also tell me in the comments what will be our next series. So I'm trying to pick the mostly commented answers and try to make the series on that particular topic. Okay, so with that note, I'm closing the session for today. Hopefully you enjoyed a lot, you learned a lot. So if you so, then please comment it. As always, do not forget to subscribe and like the subscribe the channel, like the video, check out the other videos, right? So take care, bye bye, see you in the next video. Till then, learn today, lead tomorrow, stay happy, and happy Christmas as well. Enjoy your vacation. Bye bye.